welcome to lessonswithtroy.com. I'm Troy Brenningmeyer. Well, this week's lesson is C6 Lap Steel Basics, volume number 8, and we're going to have two parts to it, part A and part B. This particular lesson is part A, and then on another video that'll be part B. And I'm calling this Slow Country Backup Pedal Steel Sounds for the C6 Lap Steel. So kind of a mouthful, but we're basically taking our C6 lap steel, so just a 6-string lap steel tuned C, E, G, A, C, E from your lowest to your highest string, and trying as good as what I can to make it sound more like a pedal steel. So we're using forward and reverse slants, sliding into chords, and a volume pedal. And I also have quite a bit of reverb and a little bit of delay too to kind of give it more of a thickness to it that I think gives it more of that slow country sound that you hear a lot from pedal steel players. So if you're ready, go and print out your tablature. This lesson, part A, is basically going to be me showing you what I played in that sample. So that intro clip there, I've tabbed the whole thing out, and it's lots of great licks, that you can move in and out of different keys, and I'll show you how they work over each chord. And that'll be part A. In a separate video, part B, it's a lot more technical. That lesson will be more about scales, harmonized scales, using major and minor sixth, and how I kind of move in and out of chord positions using the scale and thinking about it more technically. So I think part A might be a little bit more fun for you if you're just looking for some cool licks and something that you can play immediately that sounds like music. And then part B is more the technical end of things, how I used the major scale and harmonized it to kind of get some of these ideas. So let's move on to part A of C6 Lap Steel Basics, volume number 8. Okay, so real quick before we get into the lesson, I just wanted to show you what I'm using for a volume pedal. Now this doesn't mean you need to get one exactly like the one I'm using. There's several brands out there. This just happened to be the one that I got, when I went into the store one day, and I know, a lot of pedal steel players use this brand. Goodrich or Goodrick, however you pronounce it. It's a low profile one. It's got, looks like 1 input and 2 outputs there on the side, and it's really built rugged. I think this thing is built like a tank. And here on the front top, a little grip tape that's nice, and real simple how it works. When it's all the way back, your volume's all the way off, and then when you push it down like that, your volume's all the way on. So if you wanted to not hear the attack of the note, when you pluck the note, you would start with it all the way off and then do a larger swell. But you don't want to do that all the time. A lot of times what they say is to use the volume pedal more as a way to get more sustain. So especially with playing this slow country stuff, it sounds really cool to mix the volume pedal in with the forward and reverse slants, and you can get that sound of the more of the pedal steel sound. So that's what my volume pedal looks like. So let's go ahead and jump on into the lesson now. Okay, one more thing real quick. For all you interested in how I made my jam track, I used Band in a Box, and I used the real track called Country Ballad with Pedal Steel, and then I just muted out the pedal steel part of that jam track. I thought it kind of interfered with what I was playing on lap steel. So anyways, let's go ahead and get going with the lesson. Okay, this first phrase will cover measures 1, 2, 3, and 4 of your tablature. And it starts on the and of beat 2 there in measure 1, and I'll play it a few times so you get it in your head. Here we go. I'll count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. And that'll be the first phrase we'll be working with here. Let me play it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, let me explain exactly what all I'm doing here. First off, this first little lick sounds like this. That's all basically an intro lick to kick us off into the tune. So that's all over a D7 chord. So if you're wanting to figure out the chord progression to this, this is more of an intro, and so the actual chord form would start right there at that G. So all this over the D7 chord. So when it slides into that G, then that would kick us off into the tune. You can tell from the double bar line in the tablature. Okay, so as you can tell, we start off with a reverse slant here on our 1st string and 4th string, 8th fret and 9th fret. Looks like this. Now these are a bit tricky. Let me show you how I'm getting this, as far as technically a couple different ways you could get it. I'm going to choose to twist my whole wrist like this. Okay. And then we're straightening that out to a straight bar on our 7th fret, 1st string and 4th string. And all that's going on with the right hand here is my thumb is playing my 4th string, middle is playing my 1st string. Okay, but back to this reverse slant. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could grab it with your middle finger and thumb, and then just slide it in like that. And I've taught that in some of my dobro lessons. But I'm going to opt, like I said, to kind of twist my wrist like this for the reverse slant. Now, it's a little hard to see, you know, because your hand's kind of blocking the slant, so you might have to tilt your head. This way, when you hold it like that, it's a lot easier. You can see exactly, you know, what fret you're on. So I'll just leave it up to you, whichever technique you want to do, either grabbing it with your thumb and middle finger like this, and then sliding it back into your normal bar position. The only thing you got to worry about is it's a little bit easier, especially with these kind of bars, you know, to have the bar slip out of your hand. When you just twist your wrist, you got a little bit better control and hold of the bar. Here it is. Yeah, I think it's a little harder to grab the bar like that, you know, because these slants are happening so fast. So I think I would have trouble grabbing it like that with the slant. Okay, so let me go back here to the split screen so you can see both hands. Okay, so we play this slant twice. Remember, on our 8th fret and 9th fret, 1st string and 4th string. And then we slide that in to our 7th fret, 1st string and 4th string. Okay, and there's no secret to playing these slants in tune. You just got to use your ear and make subtle adjustments until it's as in tune as what you can, you know, manage to hear, really. So I would just work with that first one, try to get it in tune. Okay, then the second one, you're on your 5th fret, 1st string, 4th string, and you're going to slant that to where it ends up on your 3rd fret and 4th fret, 1st string and 4th string. So just use your ear and really try to, you know, tell when that's in tune. Okay, then when you're on your 3rd fret and 4th fret here, this reverse slant, you're going to slide it up until it's a straight bar on your 7th fret, same strings. So a lot of these, this whole intro lick at least, is on your 1st string and 4th string. Okay, now when you're sliding from, you know, this reverse slant on 3 and 4 here, if you do it real slow, I think that might sound, I don't know, it gives it a real twangy sound, but it might be a little overly dramatic. You could speed that up a little bit and it'll lock in a little bit tighter. About like that. Now if you wanted to use your volume pedal here, you could, you know, while you're doing the slant, let off your volume pedal just a little bit, and then, you know, give it a little bit of gas there, and it'll, you know, when it comes into on the 7th fret, that'll be when your volume's all the way up. It just kind of adds to any of these slants. The volume pedal doing the swells with the slants gives it a real nice pedal steel sound. Okay. I think got that. Okay, so now we're over our G chord there, and we're going to want to turn that into a G7 chord. And we do that simple enough at the end of measure 2 by sliding from 7 down to 5 on my 2nd string and 5th string. And then play that again. 7, 5. Now rhythmically how this all sounds, once again this starts on the end of beat 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go right on beat 1 of measure 4 there. You go to a forward slant on your 2nd string and 5th string, and you're basically on your 2nd string you're on your 4th fret, and on your 5th string you're on your 3rd fret. So I like to and that's a C chord. Okay, so we went from a G to a G7, resolving that G7 here to a C chord with a forward slant on 5th string, 2nd string, 3rd fret, 4th fret. Let me show you what that looks like from this angle. Basically, you just want to take that bar and push it under your fingers like that. Once again, these are great because you know that it's in tune on your 5th fret. And if you use your ear, you should be able to hear when that slides in tune with the slant. So I did a little bit too much there. Okay, so just pushing that bar under your fingers, middle finger and ring finger for that forward slant. When your bar turns this way, that's forward slant. When your bar turns that way, we're calling that a reverse slant. Okay. So C, and then we move up to another version of a C chord, sliding up to the 7th fret, 2nd string, 3rd string, like that. Now any of these slides, if you add that volume pedal to it, it sounds real nice. And if you take your volume all the way off, it cuts down on the attack. So whichever one you want to do. Like that would be basically no attack, and that's my volume pedal all the way off. And then if I do my volume pedal about midway or just a little bit, quarter of the way down, and then just a real slow volume. It sounds real nice when you're doing the slides with the volume. Or the slants with the volume. Now I like to hear a little bit of that attack, so I'm not going to bring my volume pedal all the way off. I'll bring it just a little bit back. About right there, if you can hear that. Okay, so there's that first phrase. So let me play it for you all the way through. Here we go. Starting on the and of beat 2, and I'll try to count it too while I play it. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next phrase.